Has anyone stopped to think how social media may be having an effect on their behavior? Because of recent events, shout out to BGS. Because of recent events, I wanted to make this anyway, but these recent events, seeing how dogmatic some are becoming with the red pill or have already become with the red pill, seeing how dogmatic some black women are with the divest and swirl movements they have over there on that side, I was inspired to make this so that we can just go through some of the quotes that some of the designers of your favorite social media sites and apps, what in your favorite platforms, what the designers of these particular platforms had to say. And once again, this is as a response to just different movements or different segments of the black, I will guess we'll call it the black web, and what they're following, what they're saying, and how this is having an effect on their worldview, on their ideology, on their behavior, and and how they perceive the world, right? So I'm just going to go through a few quotes. And remember, these quotes are from people that either sold companies to the biggest social media websites or internet content creators and whatnot. One of these guys sold a website to Google, and we're just gonna go through what they were saying. I've watched hundreds, not hundreds, dozens of hours of content, read up on a lot of this stuff, and I have just notes galore. So you're gonna hear the pages going back and forth. Here's a quote. It's a stealthy manipulating of society. Here's another one. Algorithms make you change your behavior. Here's another one. Call it call it a manipulator engine. You're not perceiving reality clearly anymore. It's being manipulated. You're being tricked in a way, right? So when you have conversations with people online, notice that it's very difficult for them to have a nuanced, balanced conversation. For them, it always has to be turned up to 11. And if you come to that person online and attempt to have a balanced conversation with them, they're going to think that you're fake. They're not going to take you seriously because many people have gotten into their little echo chambers and all they do is regurgitate the same talking points to each other over and over again, the same rhetoric to each other over and over again. And so now that you're in this echo chamber, when someone attempts to pull you out of that dark space, you can't let it go because social media has become your God. Your favorite content creator has become your deity, and you are a disciple. So let's continue with some of the quotes. The problem is that these behavior techniques are often invisible to the person being manipulated. It's a mechanical approach to manipulating people. And because it's not direct and so algorithmic, people don't get the cues of what's happening to them. Because many of us have been bred to understand that people in your life, in your real life, will attempt to manipulate you to go left or right and to think about things a certain way. Your guard is up for that type of behavior. But many of us do not see how social media and the internet is having an effect on us through algorithms by what it suggests to us, right? Even when you look up something benign, like let's say you want to know 9/11 facts. Okay, what happened September 11th, 2001 with the Twin Towers? 70% of what drives YouTube are suggestions. And if your YouTube is set to autoplay, which many people's YouTube is, there's a 70% chance that the next video will be something extreme, right? An Alex Jones 9/11 truther or 9/11 conspiracy video. That goes for everything. Your teenage daughter wants to legitimately learn how to lose weight. She wants to lose weight, right? She clicks on something that's wholesome, and the next video is something encouraging her to throw up after she eats, right? Because it's not that It's not necessarily that these things are being designed to be very negative. It's that negativity garners the most attention. There's a quote for that. Positive and negative feedback are at parity. The algorithm that's following you respond very quickly, and negative responses, that's being angry, that's being irritated, that's being scared, tend to rise faster. In other words, there is more engagement by promoting negativity. Negativity is not more powerful, but negativity gets amplified. For those of you that know the quote, the lie is already halfway around the world while the truth is still trying to get its shoes on. It's not that the lie is more powerful than the truth. It's just that these type of things garner such a response, such an emotional response from people, that's the thing that we follow. And so by the time the truth comes around, the lie has already done its damage, right? Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going through certain quotes. What's tragic about Facebook and Google is that they are succeeding on manipulating your behavior in the larger world, right? So this is something that we touched on already. These things are having an effect on your actual real life, on how you move about your real life. It's like pointing a supercomputer at your brain. For those of you that don't understand, your phone is a supercomputer. Your laptop, your computer, obviously your computer, your tablet are all supercomputers. And you're allowing these things to have an effect on your actual worldview, your actual real life. Let's keep on with the quotes. Human beings are hackable. Let's continue. YouTube has a bias to point out to you the most extreme. Let's continue. Okay, here's an example. A teenage girl clicks weight loss. Okay, I gave you guys that example already. 70% of what you watch on YouTube is driven by recommendations, right? YouTube users spend on average at least an hour a day, right? So when you're on YouTube, you on average spend at least an hour. So y'all think about that while you're online and you're consuming this content, how it's having an effect on you. Here's something that might seem like it comes from left field, but it actually is. I'm going to tie this into what I'm saying. Democracy will become an emotional puppet show. What does that mean for the Black community, right? If democracy writ large will become, if it's not already, an emotional puppet show because of people getting into their enclaves and bouncing the same ideas off to each other over and over again and not being able to have a nuanced conversation with the opposition, what happens in the Black community when Black women go this way and Black men go that way and we just regurgitate the same talking points to each other over and over again? What happens then? Or upper class Black people, the handful of them that exist, and average Black people go off in a different direction and we have to come together to make something happen. For the majority of us, how do you have a conversation when I've been in my enclave regurgitating the same things to myself over and over again with other people, and you've been in your enclave regurgitating the same things to yourself with people of like mind to you, right? Let's continue. We take for granted that human choice can't be hacked. You can be hacked, people. Let's go through another quote. Many of the people who design all of these amazing algorithms, they have a background in psychology and brain science because this is what they are trying to hack. In other words, the people that design these websites, these apps, right? These different platforms, they literally went to school to learn how to manipulate the brain. That is why some of your favorite platforms, it's almost like going to play cards or playing a slot machine, right? Or playing a video game. It's purposely designed to be addictive, right? And what does that mean when you're addicted to a particular platform and the people that you follow on that platform are instructing you about how horrible this other group of people are. Something to consider. Let's continue. This is the result of a philosophical impoverishment, of just taking for granted philosophical ideas from the 18th century and not updating them with findings of modern science. In other words, we've taken for granted some of these institutions that are 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 centuries old. Right? Marriage, child rearing, right? Coupling, dating, which is more of a recent phenomenon. We've taken these things for granted in the era of the internet and social media, which is shaking all of your previous conceptions or your conception of these things to the core. You're being shaken to the core and you don't know what to do with it. Here's another one. What you want can be hacked. Your amygdala may be working for someone else. Your amygdala, the part of your brain, is being manipulated for someone else, for the advertisers on your favorite platform. Right? So you're being encouraged to be more radical, and your favorite content creator is being encouraged to put out more radical stuff because that's what garners the attention. This is an attention economy we're talking about. And for your favorite content creator to fall in line with the algorithm and get that advertiser money, they're encouraged to put out more and more clickbait type content and go more radical, which radicalizes you. And that's for many of us in this black space on the web and the content that we're consuming, right? So I'm about to come to a close soon. This is something that we really have to consider. What are you watching? What are you reading on the internet? What type of information are you consuming? What type of entertainment are you consuming? And is it helping to radicalize you and make it even more difficult for you to connect with others? Right? We see this all over the developing world where the suicide rates for young people is skyrocketing. Much of that can be linked to social media, not all the way. But there is something to be said about at one point, if you were being bullied, you were bullied until you got into your own home and then you were safe. Now that bullying continues because the second you flick your phone open, there's 18 notifications telling you that you're bullied and all their friends are just still commenting and chasing you all over the internet. Right? And this is during one of the most crucial developmental parts of a young person's life. So I don't want us as adults to dismiss that. Right? So I just thought it was important to bring up these different quotes from very, very influential and important people, right? That have helped to create these different platforms. And I want us to think about how these things affect us in the Black community, how it affects our young people, how it affects the society as a whole, and what we can do to alleviate this and not to contribute to it. I'm seeing many Black people all over the web contributing to the insanity on the web and helping to radicalize young people, not talk them off the ledge, but actually talk them into jumping almost. And I want us to take it a step back or two, right? Or three, right? And so I'll pause right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And Mr. Z, I'll see y'all later.